Good morning, children. Let's continue with the lesson. The next voice you hear. Okay, so in the previous session, we found how there was a voice on the radio announcing that it was gone and that it was going to send the continent of Australia for a minute. Okay, there were many who, those who didn't believe also started believing that this indeed was the voice of God. Okay, so here let's continue the lesson. The announcer and reporters flying over Australia grew almost incoherent with tension as the second hands of their watches swept away. 11:58, 11:59, and finally the dot of noon. So God had announced that by 4 noon, he was going to sink the continent of Australia. So as the time started, nearing, as it was nearing noon, there was tension, and the announcers and the reporters who were flying over Australia became, almost incoherent with tension as time, neared noon. The BBC man chatted along as coolly as if he were describing a cricket match. Okay, so to the BBC man, it was a very cool affair. Okay, and he was describing everything as if he was describing a cricket match, as predicted. Okay, he said the continent is now sinking. So just at the dot of noon, the continent of Australia had begun to sink. The rate is quite rapid, about that of a modern passenger lift. Okay, so the continent of Australia is sinking as quickly as that of the speed of a modern passenger lift. The last church steeple has disappeared. Okay, so the church steeple also had begun to disappear. The water is a swirl with floating objects. So the water around in the ocean, okay, had, we could see many floating objects in the water. What a clutter people do keep about their houses. So this is, described. The BBC man is describing all this. He's saying that people keep a lot of clutter. Unwanted things are there, and people keep a lot of clutter in the houses, and there he could see all this floating in the water. Now the hilltops are under. So the top of the hill is also going under the water. 50 seconds. 55. Yes. She is popping up again. So he said for a minute the continent of Australia would sink. And then exactly, after a minute, Australia is slowly coming up. She is popping up again. Righto. Up she comes. Good old Australia. None the worse for her little drenching. Okay, so slowly after a minute, he says that continent of Australia slowly could be seen. Landing crafts race for the show. The instant there was a show to race for. Okay, so slowly, as I said, after a minute, the continent of Australia was seen and they could see the shore. So as soon as the shore could be seen, landing crafts race for the show. The first citizen to be reached by an announcer carrying a portable transmitter was a certain Colonel Humphrey Arbuthnot, DSC, retired. Tell the radio audience, sir, panted the announcer, did you really go under? Okay, so the announcer with his portable transmitter came running up to DSC, retired. Okay, his name was Colonel Humphrey Arbuthnot, and he wanted to know what it was really like under the water. I'm dripping, aren't I? So the colonel looked at himself and just asked the announcer, I'm dripping, which means that he really was under the water and that all could see him. Beastly ocean poured right into the room. I say, you wouldn't have a dry towel, would you? So the ocean poured into his room, okay, and he wanted to have a dry towel, okay. God God's broadcast of Friday evening was devoted to picking up loose ends. Okay, so the broadcast of God on Friday was devoted to picking up loose ends. Okay, so must my visit mean that the world is coming to an end? For heaven's sake, listen to your soul. Do as it bids you. Good night. So on Friday, God's broadcast was devoted to picking up loose ends. Okay, so he really asks, does it actually mean that God's visit is the end of the world? Okay, so here he asks the people to listen to their souls and just do what it bids them. That is what it tells them, what it directs them. Okay. Saturday was a busy, busy day. Consciences long buried were sending up tender green stalks like tulip bulbs. Okay, so could be God actually wanted everyone to live a happy life, a peaceful life on the planet. So animosities, enmity. God wanted the people to bury their enmities, okay, that they had, okay. So consciences, long buried, were setting up tender green stalks like tulip bulbs. The dictators of half a dozen countries resigned. Okay, so more than half dictators of more than half a dozen countries resigned. An international banking cartel went out of business because its directors felt that their methods, never too admirable, had become unwelcome, if not obsolete. Okay, so there was this director, okay, and the directors of an international banking cartel thought that their methods had become almost, outdated, and so they also went out of business. Small businessmen by the hundreds of thousands experienced a similar change of heart. One garage owner called his mechanics together and said, from now on, when we charge a customer for a new distributor coil, let us actually put in the coil. Okay, so as I said, there was a change of heart in many people. Okay, and even a garage owner, he called his mechanics and told them. So that is when next time when they charge a customer for a new distributor coil, they would actually put in the coil. Could be that they don't put in the coil, though they charge a customer for a new distributor coil. Could be that they don't put in the coil. So from then on, they are going to be truthful, they are going to be honest, they are going to put in a distributor coil. Okay. Lesser malefactors spent Saturday returning stolen books to public libraries. There were many who had stolen books from public libraries. Now they felt that they would return the books to the libraries, repaying old loans. Okay, so many also started repaying the old loans, sending gifts to forgotten aunts in old ladies' homes, and so on. Okay, so there were many who never thought of looking back, at the aunts. Now they started sending gifts to them in old ladies' homes. For 99% of the human race, it was astounding what a happy, friendly, pleasant place the earth had become by Saturday night. Okay, so because of God's announcement, by Saturday night, there was a change of heart in many of the people. 99% of the human race had now become happy, friendly, and, a pleasant place the earth had become by Saturday night. The Lord's Saturday evening broadcast was his favor. Okay, so Saturday evening's broadcast of God was actually his favor. He was bidding favor to the earth. Across the world, the radios hummed. Then there came silence and the beautiful voice. Okay, so all across the world, the radios hummed. Then there was silence, and then there was a beautiful voice. It said, "Now I shall take my leave." So he's bidding farewell to the earth. you'll find that most of your problems remain. Okay, so this is God's, this is what God told the people on the earth. Of course, by His coming, it's not that the problems are solved. There are problems that they will have to solve. You still have pain and unhappiness. You still need to feed and to clothe and to govern yourself. Need I tell you why? Okay, so problems of people remain. There will be pain, there will be unhappiness. They will have to look after themselves. They will have to feed themselves and govern. So, why is it needed? It is because a planet is a school. Love dear children and learn. So, a planet is a school. They have to, rear it. They'll have to look after it. Okay? They'll have to live in peace and harmony on the earth. Okay? They just can't destroy. Okay? Because it is the planet which is, on which they live. They'll have to live in peace and harmony with others. Love dear children and learn. And now, until we meet again, goodbye. Okay? So, He bids farewell to the people on the earth. On the seventh day, we presume He rested. Okay? So, God, on the seventh day, He rested. He bid farewell to the people on the earth and left. Okay? So, here, children, I presume you have understood the, what we had just read. Okay? So, here is a comprehension passage for you. Okay? We'll start with here Saturday and till Saturday night. Okay? So, your first question, why did an international banking cartel go out of business? Okay, your answer is here. An international banking cartel went out of business because its directors felt that their methods, never too admirable, had become unwelcome, if not obsolete. Okay, your answer is an international banking cartel went out of business because its directors felt that their methods, never too admirable, had become unwelcome, if not obsolete. What did one garage owner tell his mechanics? Okay, so your answer is here. Okay, from now on, when we charge a customer for a new distributor coil, let us actually put in the coil. Okay, so your answer is one garage owner told his mechanics that from then on, when they charged a customer for a new distributor coil, they would actually put in the coil. Okay, how did the lesser malefactors spend Saturday? Your answer, lesser malefactors spent Saturday returning stolen books to public libraries, repaying old loans, sending gifts to forgotten aunts, in old ladies' homes, and so on. Okay, your answer, how did the lesser malefactors spend Saturday? The lesser malefactors spent Saturday by returning stolen books to public libraries, repaying old loans, sending gifts to forgotten aunts, in old ladies' homes, and so on. The fourth one, write the synonym of the following words from the passage. Okay, the word given in the passage is tender. I've given the word soft, so the word from the passage is tender. The next one, astonishing. The word is astounding. Okay, the fifth question, an international banking cartel went out of business. Write the part of speech of the underlined word. Okay, the underlined word here is international. Okay, so international we have is an, what part of speech is it? It is an adjective. Okay, so children, go through the video here. I suppose you like this lesson. Okay, so with this we finish this lesson. Okay, thank you.